Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the TNA Ring Report, we get to more information about what's going on, the fallout from Tommy Dreamer, no longer a part of TNA Wrestling. Earlier this week, Dreamer announced that he parted ways with TNA, the creative department. He was one of the faces on the creative side of things, leading TNA. We'll get to Tommy Dreamer's full statement. But we get also, too, on the TNA Ring Report. TNA might be partnering up again with OVW to do their farm system, the developmental system, to get some new talent and some new crop of talent coming their way. Plus, we talk about this. You see right here, Mike Santana and Nic Nemeth. Both men will be meeting each other for the TNA title at Slammiversary. We'll get the latest on what's going on between these two as the heat has changed and miscommunication went down last week. We get the TNA Ring Report started right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the TNA Ring Report. I'm your host, as always, Kidra Dix here. Glad you could join us here for the TNA Ring Report. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend. Call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. Like we said, we'll get to wrestling hot topics a little bit later on, coming up with Tommy Dreamer and a host of Nic Nemeth. Tommy Dreamer had a lot to say, including no one contender for the TNA Championship. Nic Nemeth had something to say about Dreamer's departure and the creative changes that's come along TNA. But we'll get there in a little bit later on in the show. Let's not waste no time whatsoever. We're gonna kick things off. Nic Nemeth will be the number one contender for the TNA title. And Nic Nemeth made his piece be known tonight that he wants to go. Nic Nemeth teamed up with Mike Santana and Casey Navarro. Casey Navarro trying to be peacemaker between Nemeth and Santana. It just didn't go no as planned. Santana won the match for his team over the order 4, but you can tell right here the differences are going to be weighing in, which they're going to be selling in for the TNA Championship. We know that. Mike Santana telling Nic Nemeth to bring it and telling Nic Nemeth that you better bring all you got to Slammiversary. We told you last week that Santana may be leaving TNA and heading towards WWE. I can see Santana going to NXT. That brand needs a lot of help and not a lot of rebuilding this while it's trying to rebuild itself. So we could see that being that way. That's for Nic Nemeth and Mike Santana and the whole rest of them coming up. But Santana's saying that he wants to be the one to make sure that he puts out Nic Nemeth before Nic Nemeth gets started. We know Nic Nemeth last week put out the call your shot situation, that he's calling his shot, and he's going to do what he needs to do. But at the last week turn of events, Nic Nemeth could have cashed in his call your shot to Mike Santana. Mike Santana was fully aware of what Nic Nemeth was going to do. Mike Santana had that hard-fought matchup against Eric Young. We thought it was going to be the Slammiversary match, but it's friendly. That wasn't going to be the case. But it looks like Mike Santana might need to put his worries on to Nic Nemeth. Nic Nemeth looks like he's going to be coming some way, coming some style. So we're going to keep a close eye on this to see what this is going to do coming up and how this is going to be as well. We'll get to that a little bit later on before we leave out. Well, it looks like Frank Kazarian had his talk show, The King's Speech, and he had guests Cedric Alexander and Leon Slater. They're going to air their differences out. We know that they're going to be a part of that huge match for for Ultimate X. I'm going to show you that right here. They're going to be part of Ultimate X coming up, and you tell right here, Ultimate X is going to be real interesting. Mr. Elegance is in this match. A whole list of people are in this Ultimate X match, giving the match even more credibility. But you can tell Leon Slater and Cedric Alexander. These two men want to really battle each other, go for the goal, but you can tell right here they're kind of like what they're trying to do, um throwing stones at each other, throwing rocks at each other, saying that hey, you would have beat me, you couldn't beat me, stuff like that, and that nature and stuff like that. So we're keeping a close eye on this, but you can tell right here they're gonna lead with this Ultimate X match going forward. Next thing also looks like former friends turned enemies. Zyra Brookside will be going against Lei Liang for the TNA Knockouts title. These two women have been at each other's throats as of late, and now we know that the TNA title will be online, the Knockouts title, and it looks like Zyra Brookside wants to take away the one thing that Lei Liang worked so hard and wants to do so. But after that sneaky attack after last week, I tell you that Zyra Brookside looks like she's going to take her frustrations out on anything and anybody. And you can tell right here that she wants to do so. Zyra, Lei Ling, they want to do that. Zyra Brookside, they're going to be having that match for the TNA Knockouts title. It's going to be real personal between these two women, and you can tell right here. You can cut the tension with a knife. You can tell you that right now. The tension is going to be cut with a knife between them and stuff. Moving forward, so looking forward to seeing that coming up as well. Also, too, we get this right here: a huge six-man tag team match. The System went against Moose and the Hardys. The Hardy Boys still reeling from the righteousness. The righteousness did what they did to the Hardy Boys, did so and stuff, but the righteousness did. But we can tell you that what the righteousness did. So, but we see right here, the Hardy Boys lost. The System got the pin. You see Eddie Edwards pinning Moose. If Eddie Edwards do that to Moose, Eddie Edwards supposed to have an incoming match against Moose at Slammiversary. After Moose got string along by Eddie's wife, Moose should have known better. Moose should have known that it was coming. If someone's married, they always gonna think the same way. I don't know why Moose didn't think like that, but Moose didn't deliver the goods. I can tell you that right now on what he had going on. But maybe Moose will get his act together coming up. But that pinfall from Eddie Edwards telling me that Moose might be winning his match against Eddie at Slammiversary. Also, too, another match right here that took place. It looks like we see Marsha helping out Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell getting the help from Mara Brookside. You can tell Indy Hartwell, Mara Brookside looking like they're teaming up together and working together as a team. The team putting their differences aside. So looks like we see that going on as well. So looks like a lot of moving parts going on in TNA as well. So you saw that tonight for them. But yeah. So we see a lot going on tonight. But before we had ended this, before TNA ended, this is where it was going down right here. It looks like Moose and not Moose, but Mike Santana and Dolph Ziggler had the last word. These two men will meet at Slammiversary, and they had the last word. And you tell here, Mike Santana issuing the message. Message that, hey, like win. Win. I got to beat. That's good. Spin the block. Whole list of other stuff going on. can tell Santana. It's like he's kind of you don't see him coming up with Slammiversary. We'll see. All right. That ends the TNA Ring Report. Let's move on to Wrestling Hot Topic. Wrestling Hot Topic, we'll talk about this right here. We'll talk about TNA and OVW in a minute. But let's get to this right here. I told you, Tommy Dreamer has been in the news lately. Dreamer been talked about longest about what's going on with. If you haven't heard what's going on with Tommy Dreamer, let's give you a full recap of what went down here right now.
I said it before about being emotional. Excuse me. A lot going on. To kind of steal something from Larry David or Jerry Seinfeld, I'm a really good breaker-upper. All relationships come to an end. And yesterday I had a great conversation with Carlos Silva, and me and TNA are no longer in a relationship. We've mutually agreed to part ways. It's hard. I've given so much of my life to that company. I don't have any ill will or malice. I want it to survive, and I want it to be the best it can be. I love this business. It's hard because I'm not going to be able to see the people that I helped. I had a lot of people help me follow my dreams, and I love that part about the business of what I did. It was a 24-hour job. I think I had it for close to 10 years. Off and on, I've been in and out of there. I loved going to work. I did. But everything comes to an end. I'm not crying because I'm mad or I'm emotional, but I know I'll be okay. And I hope TNA will be okay. And I'm going to avoid my phone for a little bit. But like I said, I'm crying because I loved going to work and I love the people I work with. There was a lot of really special people. I created so many moments. I have so many highlights. And I love it. When my mom died, it was the saddest day of my life. And I came on this show, and wrestling helped me. And then right from there, I literally jumped on a plane. And TNA got me through that. With the pandemic, man, we were all scared together. This show got us through that. I would drive 15 hours by myself sometimes just to go to work because I loved the people that I worked for. Like I said, there's no issues, there's no malice. It's just at this time we just need to take a break. And I want to thank everybody for watching the show, supporting me. Like I said, I'll be okay. There's nothing like it's just the way it has to be right now. And it's going to be hard, but it'll be harder talking to the people. So that's why I just wanted to say it here. And I want to thank Anthem and TNA and for the real wrestling fans for supporting. And if you went to a TNA event and you had a good time, that's all I asked for. I never wanted to be in. I just want to be a wrestler, and I was always just thrust into these positions. And I did my best, and I did my best for you. And that's all I got to say. And again, I'm sorry for getting emotional. Just, I have, I worked with 50 to 80 great people each and every loop, and I just got to, I learned my job. I told you this a long time ago, and if you take bits and pieces of what I say, it's our job to put smiles on people's faces, and I hope you got those emotions. When I was supposed to make you mad, I made you mad. When I was supposed to make you happy, I made you happy. I hope you enjoy Slammiversary. I hope you enjoy every episode. I know I'll be rooting from afar. It's going to be hard, but Slammiversary is going to be a hell of a show, and I'll be watching it from the sidelines.
You heard from Tommy Dreamer on what he said. It was kind of heartbreaking for him, but that would happen in wrestling. That'll happen in job. You know, here 1 minute, you're gone next. That's what happens. Well, Tommy Dreamer perhaps will find somewhere else to go. You never know. He might go to NXT. You never know. But the number contender for the TNA Championship, Nic Nemeth, had something to say. Here's what Nic Nemeth had to say about Tommy Dreamer's departure. Take a look.
Morale has, when we got building together to get that TV deal, couldn't be any higher. And then as we move on, it's got to drop down just a little bit. And then it's like, oh, it's like, man, some people are leaving. What are we doing? I don't know exactly what's going on. And when you hear something at work, I don't want to hear something second and third hand and then apply it to someone and apply it to the office to where I'm hating two different people without even knowing a story. So I'm going to get the scoop on what's happening now this in 2 weeks at the pay-per-view. But most importantly, I really think the locker room is such a huge aspect. It's what got me to sign on to TNA, and I thought we were in a really good place, but I think the last couple of months, it's been a little weird backstage. It's been different, and I don't exactly know why, and I can't put my finger on it. So the influence that Tommy's had on our show, on creative, on years of I've only been there 2.5 years. He's been there a decade, back and forth, doing so many different roles, and so many of us pride ourselves. Like, I could be the opening match and steal the show. I could go out there the main event. I could be the one that sends everyone to intermission happy. We all pride ourselves on that. I don't think I could do any of those other roles that you don't see behind the scenes, where everybody in the entire company and any independent wrestler is probably texting and calling you every single day because that's what you think you're supposed to do to get ahead. I have Tommy Dreamer's email. You better believe he's getting my match from this weekend. He's getting a text from me to see, hey, I know you're coming to New Mexico this week. Can you come get me? Imagine that every single day. I would just throw my phone in a river. Tommy lives off of that because he actually knows everybody and he knows what they're capable of. And he's just such a valuable aspect to any company.
All right, you heard from Nic Nemeth, who'll be challenging Mike Santana right there. You see on your screen for the TNA title. He was kind of a little bit taken off back. Tommy Dreamer leaving him in TNA and mutual ways, parting ways. It's a whole bunch. Get to it. Speaking of that, Levi, reports TNA may want to renew their partnership with OVW. OVW is a farm system. If we see TNA and OVW work together once again, I mean, the only person that came out of that farm system was Jesse Gardner. But like you said, TNA look for new faces, fresh faces, new look, a new attitude. We'll see how it play out for TNA. Well, I'm gonna leave you here with Mike Santana and Nic Nemeth looking at each other, who want to beat the holy, you know what, out of each other. But thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the TNA Ring Report. I've been your host, Peter Dick, saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow for the SmackDown Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling